Welcome back, everyone. We are here today again with another mystery art box for Palletful packs. It's always a pleasant surprise when you come home and someone says you have a package and it's art supplies. So let's go ahead and see what's in this goodie bag, goodie box, goodie thing. All right. So we're already festive with like the red and gold fluff today. Let's see. These are paints of some sort. We have golden fluid acrylics. So let the camera see that. So it looks like we're having an acrylic theme this month. So we have a magenta, a white, a yellow. Oh, they have like it painted on there to kind of show you the viscosity. And then we have a phthalo blue. This is actually my favorite blue. So that's cool. And it looks like a spritzer. So I'm not sure what they want me to do with that, but I guess we'll see what it says. And another good brush. Man, I'm really adding brushes with these Palletful pack boxes because they always have really nice brushes. This one is a white sable Robbert Simmons. So it's another white sable brush, but this is a rounded tip instead of a square one this month. So that's really cool. And it looks like we have canvas or something. Let's see, the artist panel for oil and acrylic smooth finish. Acrylic primed, ready to use, brighter and true colors, perfect for craft projects. So it's like a little piece of Masonite or like artist board. And I'm sure it's primed. So I'm sure they just didn't give you a piece of Masonite. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it's artist board, so it's already primed. It has a primer on this Masonite. So they have two different sizes of that board. And let's see. Oh, like a longer canvas, so that's cool. They didn't stick with like the traditional rectangle. They have like a long looking canvas board. And I always like these better than canvas because they're not going to warp on you or do anything like a live surface would. And our cards. So let's see what they say about these fluid acrylic colors. It has like a graph. I'll go ahead and put this on the screen for you guys. I'm not sure what I'm looking at yet. Let's see. Golden fluid acrylics. Golden fluid acrylics are created by loading an acrylic polymer binder with concentrated levels of quality pigments, resulting in a wide selection of permanent and light fast colors. Fluids have the same pigment load as heavy body acrylics, but in a viscosity similar to heavy cream. Golden fluid acrylics allow for smooth flowing applications while retaining color, intensity, tinting strength, film integrity, and adhesion. Fluid acrylics blend easily with acrylic colors and readily tint gels, mediums, gessos, and grounds. Fluids are extremely versatile and ideal for fine brushwork, glazing, staining, water media techniques, and more. So I just have some really fancy acrylic paints. And of course we have our card telling us some challenges and what's in our box. So it says, Golden Artist colors fluid acrylics. These high intensity permanent colors have consistency similar to heavy cream. We just read that, so I'm not going to reread that. Robbert Simmons white sable brush. If you didn't hear about it the last video where I got a brush, Robbert Simmons line of white sable brushes have the basic spring, flexibility, point, and sharp work edge of traditional red sable hair brushes, but they hold more color, clean easier, last longer than red sable. The brush may be used for acrylic, watercolor, or oil. Robbert Simmons brushes are guaranteed for life, just as they were when Robbert Simmons introduced them in 1972. So these are really nice brushes, and they do hold a lot of paint when painting with them. And I always put them in my acrylic paints anyway, because last time I got oil paints, and I just use that brush for my acrylics because I don't want to ruin these nice brushes with oil paints, something I'm not gonna use like on the regular. Let's see, ampersand smooth primed artist panels. So essentially they're just saying that they're surfaces, they're primed, and they're telling me the sizes. Art alternative canvas panel. That's the little canvas board and a spray bottle. Provides a fine mist that can be used to keep your acrylics wet or to create a variety of effects. Like getting my hair ready in the morning. I've actually never used a spritzer on a painting, so our December 2019 Palletful prompts, we have week 1, 2, 3, and 4, like we always do. This one says week 1 is holiday, week 2 is Hiji, cozy. Look at that. What's that word? Is that even focused? Can you see that? I don't know. It's a weird word. It's Hyggge, Hiji? Hiji? I've never used that word. Anyways, week 3 is gift. Week 4, excitement. So I'm gonna go ahead and use what I got here to do one of these prompts for you guys and use some of my surfaces. I might use the small ones just to kind of test these out because they obviously work different than regular acrylics. I am not going to add any other colors, just the colors they gave me, because they did give me my primary colors, but with magenta instead of red, which that works. That's kind of like in a printer. And then my white to dull down. So really it's going to be my darks, which we'll go over like some techniques to use your reds and your blues together to give nice shadows without actually adding black to it. All right, so I did decide on my 2 little panels that they gave me. Essentially what these are, guys, is this is just a piece of Masonite. And if you don't know what Masonite is, you can go to a hardware store, and generally the people know what that is, or it's called hardboard. And you can get this at different thicknesses, because this is what I use when I build like panels for my acrylic paintings, and I will eventually make a video over how I do that. But they went ahead and cut Masonite, which is actually very inexpensive. You can get an 8 foot by 4 foot sheet for like $20. And if it's thicker Masonite, I think the most expensive is like $27. But yeah, you have a 8 by 7. I mean, it's just looks like this, like when you buy it, and then you cut it up with your saws or have the hardware store cut it up. And then you can get a spray with your gesso or your primer or whatever, and you can get this finish just like they did. But it's very inexpensive to do something like this. Or you could just buy it from the store already done, but I don't think the process is that hard if you're just wanting like hard boards to do paintings on. And another cheap thing for you guys to do, or I guess an easy thing for you to do, I hope you can hear over this tinfoil, but I always recommend people using tinfoil as a palette just because you can throw it away, or you can cover it up by folding it over each other. Say you put your paint in here, you fold it, and it'll keep it more moist over time, especially with acrylics. Or if you have a palette, just put tinfoil over it and you can throw it away, and you're not having to clean your palette every time you use it. It really just depends how you paint. This is something I've done just because it's cheap. I always have tinfoil in the kitchen. It's just one of those things to have handy. So I have decided for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the first prompt, which is holiday, and do an ornament right here, and just kind of play with these paints to figure out viscosity and how they handle on these boards. The consistency of these really just remind me of acrylics when you're doing like airbrush. So I am gonna go ahead and use this brush. And since it's Christmas, I'm gonna go ahead and grab some of this yellow and some of this phthalo blue to make it green. So we're gonna have a green ornament. I did go ahead and get one of my small round brushes just for smaller details since I am working with these little squares. So what I'm doing now is I'm basically putting droplets and then I'm spraying it with the water to make it look like there's lights behind it, like this isn't a Christmas tree. Might have got a little crazy with the water, but I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry for a minute. So for the second one, I think I'm going to go ahead and play with the spray bottle a little more because I did enjoy the way it made the color splash and things. And I think if I started with it that way, it'd have cooler effects for background. These kind of remind me of like the alcohol inks that we had, but with like water base, so it's going to take a lot longer to dry. And another cool thing we're going to be able to do is layer colors if we want to, if we don't like exactly how this came out. So let's go ahead and let this dry and see where it takes us. Alright, so we have this technique that I decided to go with for my second square, and essentially it looks like the ink stuff that I did with the pack in like October. Palletful Packs gave me alcohol ink, and I did something similar on glass, but you can do it with acrylic and just layer like different colors and things that you want, and you can then spray it with the water and let it set and let it dry. You can layer it. So it did give like a cool effect, a very abstract piece. So that was fun. And then this first one that I did, the bulb, the Christmas bulb, I just wanted to say that these paints go on very nice and smooth. They have clarity and a very cool glossiness to them, a very nice texture. They're very high quality paints, and I definitely will be using these in the future with my other paints. They are very thin, so they do have some transparency to them. And I noticed while I was painting that they do put it in the back on a scale. And these paints probably have different values of viscosity and transparency. They have low tinting, high tinting, thin or thick, you know, opaque or transparent. And it's just very useful when you're using these materials. I did do my research on these, and we did spend only $35 for the box. So we have about $15 extra in materials. So we did save a lot of money this month, just like we have in past months. And that's why I like Palletful Packs. You are getting your bang for your buck. But that is it for today, guys. There are videos on each side of me. Go ahead and subscribe if you are not already following my channel. And we will see you for the next video. And have a holly jolly Christmas.